In the 2019 edition of the World Child Awards, Harry offered a speech where he displayed a very strong emotional reaction. If you haven't seen it, this is your chance to take a look at it for the first time and see what your intuition tells you about what was he really feeling. Well, the internet has mixed reaction to this, and it really caught my attention that quite a few people were claiming that he showed duping delight or a subtle mocking facial expression. But I had my doubts about that and decided to take a closer look and confirmed what was the actual expression he displayed at that exact moment. Welcome back, my body language buddies. My name is Jesus Enrique Rosas. I'm the body language guy, and it would be great if you join us by just liking this video, subscribing, and hitting that bell. Let's get down to it. One of the greatest risks in any body language analysis is letting your biases or previous experiences cloud your judgment when you're looking at a picture or a video. It's important to have a first, unbiased look at the footage, like some of you managed to do at the start of this video, and then after that first impression and your intuition has kicked in, find out more about the circumstances of the expression itself. We live in an era of 5-second clips, and most of the time those short clips don't tell the whole story and could be misleading. So it's always a good idea to compare the moment with similar footage from previous events to better establish a baseline or the common body language of the person so we can do a better assessment. And Harry offered a speech at the World Child Awards of the previous years in 2018. But at that year, his attitude was totally different. And you're going to watch a short clip so you have a better reference of what I'm saying.
The stories that we've all just heard of resilience, strength of spirit, and the power of working together were without doubt incredibly moving and motivating. They really sum up what World Child is all about, giving families the best chance to care for their children at home and supporting them through the reality of all that entails.
He displays a good posture, a good rhythm of speech, and the intonation and stress in his words is adequate. What he lacks is a bit of emotion. Play with the speaking speed, speaking volume, hand gesture for emphasis, and even body posture. All these tools allow you to give the exact same speech, but deliver it in a way that drives it home, that makes a real impact in your audience, and he knows that these children deserve it. But it was a good speech. Now, what changed from 2018 to the next year, and what was the reason of his emotional reaction? Well, he explains it in a very clear way at the start of the 2019 speech.
Yet this year, it resonates in a different way because now I'm a father. Last year,
Notice that he makes a long pause and then continues. That's an emotional marker that signals that the fact that he became a father is something really moving for him.
Last year when my wife and I attended, we knew we were expecting our first child. No one else did at the time, but we did. And I remember...
That's when the emotion gets the best of him and he just has to make a long pause. Now, this is the interesting part of this exercise and the one that will truly help you polish your observation skills. You're going to watch the first clip again, but this time with his background information in mind. Take a second look and let's see if you can catch anything new. This is what's interesting. If you hadn't seen the video before, if this was your first time watching this emotional reaction, you might even think that you're watching two absolutely different moments. That's perfectly possible. And I make sure to expose you to this comparison because that helps you assess how your perception can change in minutes from watching a reaction for the absolute first time to watching it with a previous background and even a baseline. That's a built-in feature of the way our perception works, and this kind of practical exercise helps you keep in mind that sometimes your biases can kick in and just modify the perception of an emotion. Well, here's the reason so many people thought that Harry was showing duping delight, that he was in one way or another mocking the audience with his facial expression. And it's something that happens all the time for any person, and that is an emotional adjustment. A great example of an emotional adjustment is the way a surprised face shows the emotion of surprise, and a split second after it snaps back to a more relaxed position. That's another reason you can see people showing surprise and also covering their mouth with their hands. They're showing full surprise, but there's this switch that says, hey, that's enough. You can turn off the emotion now, and that's why the emotion doesn't remain more than 1 second on our faces. Maybe you know someone that has a sad smile, like they are smiling and at the same time you can see some sadness in their eyes. And that happens when you have conflicting emotions in the face, so you need to read their weights according to the hierarchy. Now, there are two very strong conflicting emotions in Harry's face. The first one is his mouth. You can see that he has a half smile that is usually related to contempt, and that is the main source of most people's feeling that he's doing a mocking gesture. But if you look closely, you'll notice that at the same time his inner eyebrows are shooting up. If you see the inner eyebrows of a person going up, that's a very good sign of genuine sadness. Because raising just the inner part of our eyebrows is something that we cannot naturally do without conscious practice. For example, acting professionals need to master that inner eyebrow raise so they can show genuine sadness on command. Spotting this kind of details requires to refine your observation skills, and for that, you can download my 100 body language tips right in the description of this video. But there's yet another very interesting signal of this emotional display, and it's that one of his inner eyebrows, the left one, is going up with more intensity than the right one. And this is really odd because I've looked at enough instances of Harry's facial expressions of different emotions, and he doesn't seem to suffer from any kind of paralysis that might lead to asymmetry on his face. But we got it here, and it's really evident the difference between both inner eyebrows. If raising both inner eyebrows at the same time is difficult, raising one of them more than the other is next to impossible. I mean, you can't do anything with enough practice, and there are many TikToks that attest to that, but one question remains: what is your intention behind that? And the fact that it's the left eyebrow the more intense is a way to confirm that this is a real display of sadness or a strong emotion, because the left side of our face is more emotional, more true, so to speak. So what most probably happened here is that Harry did not want to show that emotion. He might have felt a bit embarrassed to show himself like that, but anyone that has children can attest that your attitude towards children and parenthood in general absolutely changes the moment you become a parent. And it's worth mentioning again that Harry has always been playful with children and teenagers, and he looks like he really wants them to feel good. So that is a behavioral precedent about his emotional reaction, being there at these awards for children and parents that have gone through these ordeals. And of course, he must feel really lucky, really privileged of having a healthy boy in that year. To sum up, he was really moved. He tried to hide or adjust that emotion, and he ended up showing something very similar to contempt. And if you got my guide on microexpressions, you already know that pressing your lips is not a part of a contempt smile. You can find the link to my microexpressions guide in the description. Intuition and first impressions can be really helpful in most situations, but sometimes we can be fooled just for the way we are primed into watching whatever clip we get when we swipe up. The next time you stumble upon another 5-second video, make sure to remember that sometimes our perception can fool us. If you want to support my channel and help me make more videos, all you have to do is like, subscribe, and hit that bell so you don't miss any of my body language analysis and tips. My name is Jesus Enrique Rosas, and I'll see you soon, my body language buddies.